Since we tend to believe somebody on television more.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I was like, wait.
Antiquity Lace. We rehearse 3 times a week. Yo Studios in the Valley. They pay, what do they say? They don't say what they pay. It's cheap. The first hour or so, we go through the set that we play live. We usually try and shuffle a few songs in and out on that list. Sounds familiar. So our set fluctuates a lot. The second hour we practice, we usually work on new songs, and the third hour is kind of a jam session where we mess around and do covers, AC/DC, Van Halen, and drink a little beer. Eric Phillips of the Outlaters or something. We practice every 6 months. Since we do a lot of European touring and sometimes playing 6 nights a week, the need to practice is obsolete. Hell, how many variations are there to practicing 3-chord punk rock trash tunes? Ringley Sisters practices are really loose. There's a lot of gossiping going on since the majority of the band consists of women. We tell a lot of crazy stories, okay? Well, I never heard of them either.
I never heard of it.
Rings of Saturn. We practice 3 times a week. We practice at Meadowland, and it's $13 an hour. We usually play for 3 hours. The first half of the session will concentrate on our problem spots, things that aren't tight as we want them, or new songs that need work. We also center on backing vocals and work the front half, on the vocal work on the first half. The second half, we play our show set straight through, regardless of whether we make mistakes. We try to run through it twice if possible. Group therapy. We play the new stuff first and then work on the older material. Practices are usually 3 hours, twice a week, 4 times a week for the temporalations, whatever they are. Sled Dog. Right now we have 10 or 12 songs. Our practice consists of working with melodies and lyric structure in those songs. We go in with the goal of finishing at least 3 songs. The only drawback to this place, Fortress, is that the PA is kind of cheap. Let's see if there's any others I want. The thrust of this whole thing is that it kind of sounds like what we're doing, but they have structured first half, second half type stuff, and maybe we want to talk about that. The Holly Drive Hillbillies. Practice twice a week. Our practice consists of going through some of the songs, fine-tuning them, and adding new tunes. Then when we have a show coming up, we spend a lot of time deciding which songs to add and cut from the set. We'll also work with stuff like changing endings and parts of songs that don't work. It sounds real familiar, doesn't it? We used to have a free rental space, and we screwed around a lot. Since we pay for it now, we don't fuck around. Yeah. First hour of the session, run through dress rehearsal. Along the way, we make mental notes. This is still at large. Then we work on the parts of the songs that we need help. Sometimes we'll even unplug and work on vocal harmonies. Then we'll take a cigarette and beer break. After that, we'll continue working through rough spots, maybe just continue drinking beer. Bad Bones. We practice 4 days a week. Basically, what goes on in practice is determined by the proximity of the next gig, which is what we're kind of subject to. If we have a show coming up, we'll concentrate on the older material, and that will be in the set. If there isn't a gig on the horizon, we work new material. Nothing earth-shattering new or anything like that in that. It all sounds like stuff that common sense would get us to reach that point at. I do like the idea of maybe dedicating a particular day, in addition to what we've been doing, to do new material or a particular part of the set out of the night. So if you want to think about that and get back to it, we'll do that. Where's my lemonade? That's all.